Namaste, angels. This is going to be the weekly general reading, beginning with the Christian feast days. So this week, the one that I would make mention of is the 12th, October 12th, and that is Our Lady of the Pillar. I'll tell you what that is about in a moment. Also, for the remainder of this week, as I said it would be last week, on the Jewish calendar is Sukkot, and also on the 12th, a very special day on the Jewish calendar, Simchat Torah. So I will talk about that as well. Always interesting how these things are celebrated on the same day. It's because we have one God, and there were different means of celebrating. And that's why of the three, quote unquote, major religions, all agree that Jesus is at least a major prophet. He is in the Quran, he is in the Torah, and of course he is and beyond in the Christian Bible. But it's because they all practice the same things. Jesus came to let everyone know that the old laws, which it states in the book of Romans, God gave to man the laws of Moses. God gave to man to appease man. But then he sent Jesus with his laws. The Father sent Jesus to Son with his laws, the Father's laws that were to supersede all of the past laws. And when they didn't, we ended up with these various religions, and then sects, various sects within those religions. In any case, Simchat Torah and Our Lady of the Pillar being celebrated on the same day. I'll go to the sky this week first, and then I'll come back and tell you the story of those two dates. So, beginning Sunday, October 7th. Sunday's October 8th, actually, first of all. But October 7th is actually another feast day of Mary, Our Lady of the Rosary, I believe. Yes. I hadn't planned to talk about that, and it just popped into my head. So like this Saturday, when I'm looking at I brought up the astronomy.com, and I was looking at Saturday, October 7th, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's something too. Okay, Sunday, October 8th. Although Neptune reached opposition and peak visibility a month ago, it remains a worthwhile subject. The outermost major planet appears 1/3 of the way to the zenith in the southeastern sky after darkness falls, and climbs highest in the south around 11 p.m. local daylight time. Neptune glows at a magnitude of 7.8, which is bright enough to spot through binoculars if you know where to look. The trick is to find fourth magnitude Lambda Aquarii, which lies about 10 degrees southeast of Aquarius' distinctive water jar asterism. This week, Neptune appears 0.6 degrees southeast of the star. When viewed through a telescope, the planet shows a blue-gray disk measuring 2.3 inches across. Mercury passes behind the sun from Earth's perspective at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This means the innermost planet remains hidden in our star's glare. It will return to view in the evening sky at the end of October. So I talked about that in the perspective of them being like people, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, and Mercury sort of getting pushed away until the end of the month. Tuesday, October 10th. I'm sorry, did I just skip over Monday, October 9th? My apologies. It is quote-unquote Columbus Day. In some cities in the United States, it is now Indigenous Peoples Day. It is no longer Columbus Day on the 9th. But for the most part, here in the United States, Monday, October 9th is Columbus Day, the day that Christopher Columbus is said to have quote-unquote discovered America and the people who were already living in it. Anyway, in the sky, Venus crosses the invisible border, separating the constellations Leo the Lion and Virgo the Maiden today. The border, so that's interesting. This sounds like they were up to some hanky-panky. The border crossing sets up a series of nice conjunctions between the bright planet and Virgo stars in the coming weeks. The moon reaches perigee, the closest point in its orbit around Earth, at 1:55 a.m. That's another 11. Eastern Daylight Time. It then lies 227,000, which is 227 is another 11 there. 953 miles from Earth's center. Tuesday, October 10th. Although autumn began a few weeks ago and the stars of winter's Orion now rule the morning sky, the summer triangle remains prominent on October evenings. Look high in the west after darkness falls, and your eyes will fall upon the brilliant star Vega in the constellation Lyra the Harp. At a magnitude of 0.0, Vega is the brightest member of the triangle. The second brightest star, magnitude 0.8, Altair in Aquila the Eagle, lies some 35 degrees southeast of Vega. The asterism's dimmest member, magnitude 1.3 Deneb in Cygnus the Swan, stands about 25 degrees east-northeast of Vega. For observers at mid-northern latitudes, Deneb passes through the zenith between 8 and 9 p.m. local daylight time, about an hour after the last vestiges of twilight disappear. And I had paused. I don't know if how many of you noticed, if any, paused for a second when I was going over Monday, because it popped into my head that the Leo, the lion, and the Virgo thing. Remember the other day I was seeing all that Earth? I attributed it to Saturn. I'm not taking that back, but maybe this had something to do with it too. The Virgo and also the Leo, the lion. Remember I said I was getting good feelings about Leos. I didn't know why, because it was in the moon reading. And of course the moon wasn't about Leo. It was about Aries and, a fellow fire sign. But I was feeling all kinds of wonderful things about Leo, maybe because of what's going on with Leo on the 8th and 9th. Okay. Tuesday, October 10th. Although autumn began a few weeks ago, but I just did that one. Wednesday, October 11th. I don't know what the heck is wrong with me today. Uranus reaches opposition in just 9 days. And I was thinking about Uranus a few moments ago. It sounds weird to say I was thinking about Uranus, like why, but I was. Maybe this is why. Uranus reaches opposition in just 9 days, and it's already a tempting evening target. The ice giant world rises during twilight and climbs 30 degrees above the eastern horizon by 9:30 p.m. local daylight time. The magnitude 5.7 planet lies in Pisces, 1.5 degrees northwest of magnitude Omicron, or Pisceum. Although Uranus glows brightly enough to see with the naked eye under a dark sky, binoculars make the task much easier. A telescope reveals the planet's blue-green disk, which spans 3.7 inches. Thursday, October 12th, the last quarter moon occurs at 8:25 Eastern Daylight Time. It rose around 11:30 p.m. local daylight time yesterday evening, which gives North American observers a chance to see it almost precisely half lit before this morning's dawn. Earth's only natural satellite appears among the background stars of southern Gemini. Mars is hot on the trail of Venus and crosses the border between Leo and Virgo today. Mars also will have some nice conjunctions with the maiden stars, but they'll occur at a slower pace thanks to the red planet's more sluggish orbit. Venus appears 0.8 degrees northeast of fourth magnitude star Beta, Beta Virginis this morning. And Friday the 13th, which is one of my favorite days in a general sense, because my boyfriend, I don't know what the heck is wrong with me. I apologize. My birthday sometimes falls on a Friday the 13th. And the movie actually came out, I think it was my 8th birthday or my 10th birthday. I remember being very excited about that. In any case, the annual Orionid meteor shower quickly ramping up toward its peak the morning of October, ramping up to its peak, which occurs on the morning of October 21st. You already should be seeing a few shower members in the pre-dawn sky, where the waning crescent moon doesn't offer much interference. To tell an Orionid from a sporadic meteor, trace the path of the shooting star backward. An Orionid meteor will appear to radiate from the northern part of the constellation Orion, the hunter. Saturday, October 14th, Saturn remains a tempting target in this week's evening sky. The ringed planet stands nearly 20 degrees above the southwestern horizon, and as darkness falls, shining at a magnitude of 0.5, it appears significantly brighter than any of the backroom stars in its host constellation, the Serpent Bearer. Of course, the best views of Saturn come through a telescope which reveals a 16-inch diameter globe surrounded by a spectacular ring system that spans 37 inches. But more significantly, the rings tilt 27 degrees to our line of sight, the maximum angle possible in mid-October. The rings haven't appeared this open since 2003. See, I told you I was feeling things about Saturn. Saturn is special. This hasn't happened since 2003, and they won't approach this tilt again until the year 2032. The steep angle offers superb views of the ring structure. And lastly, Sunday, October 15th, the variable star Algol in Perseus reaches minimum brightness at 1:25 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow morning. Observers in the East Coast who start watching around mid-evening can see the star's brightness diminish by 70% over the course of about 5 hours, though in Western North America, they will see Algol brighten noticeably from late evening until dawn starts to light up the sky when the star stands high in the west. This eclipsing binary system runs through a cycle from minimum, which is the magnitude of 3.4, to maximum, a magnitude of 2.1, and then back again every 2.87 days. Okay, so what's Our Lady of the Pillar about? Well, this is from Catholicism.org. Perhaps the oldest devotion to Our Lady in Europe is the devotion of Our Lady of the Pillar. In Spain, pillar is a popular, or pilar, P-I-L-A-R. It is pillar, P-I-L-L-A-R, but pilar, P-I-L-A-R, is a popular girl's name, as is Mercedes for Our Lady of Mercy. In general, in fact, General Franco named one of his daughters Pilar, just as one of the Carmelite martyrs written in this issue was named Sister Maria del Pilar. In the year 36 AD, so 9, I told you Mary loves 9, while she was yet on earth, Our Lady bilocated, so she appeared in 2 places, and appeared to St. James on the banks of the river Ebro, near the city of Caesar Augusta, which is now a place called Zaragoza, or some people call it Saragossa. So it's either Z-A-R-A-G-O-Z-A or S-A-R-A-G-O-S-S-A. She appeared accompanied by celestial music on a 6-foot pillar of jasper. I've got some jasper over here. If I see some quickly, I'll show you. I don't. About 2 weeks ago, I pulled out jasper, green jasper. I had it sitting here. I thought it would be on top. If I see it during the reading, I'll show you guys. Her purpose was to confront and encourage St. James and his disciples. Our Lady commanded that a chapel be built on the spot in her honor, and she promised her assistance to those who invoke her. She showed up in front of St. James a few times, not just this time. When she passed, St. James was like the last person she appeared before, and she left behind for him her girdle, and there was another piece of proof. I don't recall right now. In any case, her purpose in confronting St. James was to encourage him and his disciples. Our Lady commanded that a chapel be built on the spot in her honor, and she promised her assistance to those who invoked her. The apostle was quick to carry out the wishes of the Queen of Apostles. Okay, she's known as the Queen of Apostles. The present church, built by Charles II in the late 1600s, is the last of several replacements and enlargements of the official edifice. King Ferdinand VI, in the year 1753, commissioned an architect to build the special side chapel which houses Our Lady's pillar. On the pillar, whose jasper cannot be matched anywhere in the world, is erected a 15-inch statue of Our Lady with the child Jesus, who holds a dove, like I guess like a Pentecostal dove. One tradition says that Our Lady herself gave the statue to St. James, while another states that St. James commissioned it. Regardless of its origin, many miracles attest to heaven's predilection for the relic. Among its many prodigies is the fact that in almost 2,000 years, the statue has never needed dusting. No one is allowed to touch the statue except for the 4 priests assigned to its care and clothing, and newly baptized infants who are lifted up so that the new children of God might touch the image of their heavenly mother. The pillar itself has been covered with silver and bronze. Yes, because she loves metal. Except for an opening where pilgrims may venerate it. And of course, she's a Queen of Swords, and so more metal, precious metal. The spot is quite worn away from the millions of kisses it has received. Isn't that sweet? The choir boys who serve the chapel form a special group of boys known as infantes, infantes. It is considered a great privilege for a family to have a son in the special uniform of the infantes. In 1936, which is 136 or 613 transposed, the Reds dropped bombs on the shrine, but the 2 that hit the church failed to detonate. This incident showed the perfidy of the Reds and the power of Our Lady's protection. So she didn't let them destroy her chapel. This was originally published in a book called From the Housetops as a sidebar of an article called Spain's Crusade, 1936, again, 613 transposed, through 39. The Feast of Our Lady of the Pillar is October 12th, which is the date originally intended to coincide with Columbus Day, though that civil observance is always, quote unquote, observed on the nearest Monday to make it a 3-day weekend. So that is why it is being celebrated this Monday. Yes, King Ferdinand is who, and Queen Isabella are who sent Christopher Columbus out to do his work. Okay, so that was that one. And Simchat Torah. So this is from Shabbat.org. Immediately following the 7-day festival of Sukkot comes the 2-day festival of Shemini Atzeret and Simchat Torah. In the land of Israel, the festival is, quote unquote, compacted in a single day. So it's celebrated all on one day. Shemini Atzeret means the 8th day of retention. The Hasidic masters explain that the primary purpose of this festival is to retain and, quote unquote, conceive the spiritual revelations and powers that were granted during the festivals of the month of Tishrei, so that we could subsequently apply them to our lives throughout the year. The, quote unquote, 4 kinds, Kinds, are not taken on Shemini Atzeret. We still eat in the sukkah, so that's the tent, according to the custom of most communities. But without making the special blessing on the sukkah, on the 2nd day, the Shemini Atzeret, in parentheses, they have the 9th day from the beginning of Sukkot, and in the land of Israel, we go back to eating in the home. So they leave the tent, go back home. The 2nd day of Shemini Atzeret is called Simchat Torah, in quotes, the rejoicing of the Torah. On this day, we conclude and begin anew the annual Torah reading cycle. The event is marked with great rejoicing, especially during the Hakafot, which is a procession in which we march and sing and dance with the Torah scrolls around the reading table in the synagogue. On Simchat Torah goes the Hasidic saying, "We rejoice in the Torah, and the Torah rejoices in us." The Torah too wants to dance, so we become the Torah's dancing feet. Other festival observances include the special prayer for rain, included in the Musaf prayer, M-U-S-A-F, of Shemini Atzeret, and the custom that all are called up to the Torah on Simchat Torah. So everybody gets to surround should they choose. And with that, here goes our reading for the week. I'm beginning with Forget It. Dirty movie. And buy shoes. Oh, a number of you commented, presumed to help me, that Venus is the ruler of Libra and Taurus. That is absolutely correct. However, Venus is indeed the esoteric ruler of Gemini. Feel free to look it up should you choose. All right, so the dice. Stay in bed. Stay in bed. Venus, the planet of the fifth ray. Did you know that? Yeah, that's true too. Spirit says yes. So if you had a yes or no question, the answer is yes. And still wants us to buy shoes. I got a new deck. I'm going to use it in the second part. I'm beginning with renewal. So this is totally appropriate. Couples really, all the reunions are beautiful, reuniting. Hopefully they'll be permanent. I don't know, but some appear to be, at least. I know in my clients' lives, I have people getting married and engaged and all that kind of stuff, and moving in together, although some lived together before, and in other cases, and you know, still went into separation. But whatever, it's still beautiful to me. And the renewal card represents, for me at least, the planet Pluto, and the sign of Scorpio that it rules, because it's about death and rebirth, and it's about judgment, which the Scorpion King doles out. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. It's also on 11, of course, 2011, and coming to the Two of Air. So yet another 11. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, and pretending there's no problem. So maybe trying to decide whether or not to reunite, whether or not to continue. And this doesn't have to be romantic. This can be any kind of relationship, whether or not to go forward. This is the general reading, and what this card means, is that there's a need to make a decision. And what this card means is that a relationship, or as it relates to a relationship of any kind, we've come to a crossroad and we need to decide what we're going to do. Where it relates to work, it's about promotion and, you know, your boss getting ready to elevate you in some way. Maybe there's a decision for some of us about that, whether or not to take a promotion or a new job, a transfer, or something related to work that would elevate us. Two of Air. And the King of Air, he who is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence, seek out professional advice, and balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air can be that boss, perhaps. Can also be Venus intervening in your life, Queen of Swords, although it's the King. Maybe an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, right? Could be that Uranus showing up too. And this could be the boss, yeah. This could be the boss, or somebody who is helping you to make the decision, because the King of Air is fair. Maybe he is who is judging you, right? Because renewal is judgment in the traditional tarot. Maybe it's he who is judging you and gets to decide, you know, whether or not you get that promotion or what happens in your life. Two of Air. And opening to the Knight of Earth. Knight of Earth is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. He's also a Capricorn, Scorpio, or Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. The Knight of Earth is the most faithful knight in that he always reaches his goal. So he will come to a decision. He just might be very slow about it, because he's methodical. He likes to plan first. Two of Air. One more. It's the Knight of Fire. The Knight of Fire is passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. And this reminds me, I did not go over the astrology. I did the astronomy. I did the spiritual stuff. I didn't do the astrology, at least not all of it, because I didn't mention Jupiter in Scorpio, and that can be what this is, right? The Knight of Fire could be representing Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius. So a fire element sign. Also a ruler of Pisces, ancient ruler of Pisces. Two of Air. And the Page of Earth. Page of Earth is scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. And like the Knight that showed up before, a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or somebody taking on those attributes or traits. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging and a new area of study. So again, this can be about a promotion or, you know, just some money coming in your way. You've worked, but you got to decide. And it can have to do with school too. It can be like something, a scholarship, or opportunity for you to, you know, learn something new, or maybe at the job, learn from someone, learn a new trade, any of that stuff, and involving a decision like what you're going to do. So it's like the Knight of Wands that was here. He brings the opportunity. The Knight of Earth, like, mulls it over. What am I going to do? Page of Earth means that, you know, some money is definitely coming your way, whatever you're deciding. And I've come to the Ten of Air. It's the end of a difficult situation, maybe a situation where we were broke, or we were lacking funds, and that's changing because all of a sudden the Knight of Fire showed up, the Knight of Earth showed up, and the Page of Earth showed up, as did renewal or judgment. So I would think that for many of us, it's about abundance in the financial or material sense. It's the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better. Like, don't expect to continue to be broke or whatever your difficulty was. Don't think, well, I don't know if I should get too excited yet because, you know, things might still suck. Just like be optimistic is what this card is saying. And speaking of abundance, the overall energy is a Three of Fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience this time and make long-term plans. I'm going to lay these, and then I'm going to quickly go over the astrology, which I think there's only like 2 or 3 things happening this week. So I'll just note what they are, and we'll keep it moving. Okay, so covering this period of this week, the 8th through the 14th, right? Sunday the 8th through Saturday the 14th. I think that's right. 1010 is Jupiter in Scorpio. I almost changed my name to 1010. Some of you know. I was going to change it to MX. M for Mariama and X as an X, and then I was just going to go by one name and pronounce it Max, MX. But it also translates numerically, Roman numerals, to 1010. So that's why I chuckled. Also, my Jupiter in my chart is in Scorpio. So that 1010 should be a special day for me and leading into continued good days for me, since Jupiter will remain in Scorpio until November 2018. On 1014, Venus enters Libra. Mercury will already be there. So Venus will join Mercury there in Libra. And then Mercury moves into Scorpio on the 17th. Oh, that's next week. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Back to this. Masculine. The 5 of Fire. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. This can be Mars. This can be conflict with oneself, like not knowing what to do. Because we saw some of what we saw in the moon reading, you know, can very easily show up here. And we did see, what was it called? I said the masculine was going to go to war. I felt that before I even laid any cards. And we saw hostilities. That's what the card was called. So that can be what this is, those hostilities. Surrounded by release, which is death, or represents the sign of Scorpio or the water signs. All about transformation. It's the end of a phase or a situation. Some of us may be going through spiritual transformation. It's time to move on. So to change the energy in which we are at present and move into some new, fresh energy. Allow the old stuff to die so that we can move into the new. In the masculine subconscious, the Knight of Fire is back. The Knight of Fire is passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. The Knight of Fire is a Sagittarius, maybe, ruled by Jupiter. A Leo, maybe. We had some stuff going on with Leo. And I certainly felt stuff for Leo with this, the week of this moon. And Aries. I mean, the moon is in Aries. So there we have that too. It's all about the fire signs this week. So the masculine could be, something's got him like lit the fire under his ass, so to speak, basically, is what this means. And maybe that will prompt him to make a move and release something, let go of something onto which he's been holding that he no longer needs, that, you know, he should have allowed it to die. And maybe that is about what he's conflicted, or maybe that causes conflict with another person. Maybe he lets somebody go, or, you know, some situation involving another party go, and that causes conflict. Feminine, the Four of Water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. It's time to open your eyes to the possibilities. So we've got to like pay attention and count our blessings. We're like unimpressed with what's being presented to us. For some, it can be an offer of love, and we're unimpressed with that. Maybe it's not with the person that you want. Somebody in, you know, in whom you're disinterested is who is approaching you. For some of us who haven't met our divine partner, but, you know, feel that we have one, or sure that we have one, it can be them, because it can be, I mean, you know, often, most of the time even, these divine partners are people who you otherwise would not, you know, date or something, you know, and it's very typical. So if you're encountering one another for the first time, that can be it. So it's like, open your eye, pay attention, look out for the signs. Don't be paranoid or, you know, weird out on anybody, scare them away, but, you know, just be mindful. Just be mindful of blessings that are being, you know, laid out around you and before you. Like the Two of Fire. See, I was feeling that this is connected to divine unions for a lot of us. And again, for some, it's like for the first time. So this is what we got to keep our eyes open to and for. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. For others, and for some, you know, they're going to get this doubly. They're going to get it in a general sense, and they'll get it in the sense of, you know, romance. But for some, this can be a partnership with a friend or a business partner. You're moving into something. Again, you're being elevated. Your boss can be the universe, and it can be giving you an opportunity to enter, you know, some sort of lucrative partnership, doing something about what you're passionate. Especially with the overall energy, again, being the Three of Fire, because that's the natural progression from the two. We're starting something here. We're putting our stakes in the ground. You know, we're working on it hard. We're starting to see a yield, and our work warrants some sort of payoff now. And like, we just need one more stake for those solid foundations. That's the natural progression. The feminine subconscious, the Page of Earth is back. So it's an opportunity to do something. Maybe we're getting a grant, or some sort of loan to start our own business or something, and we're starting it with a partner or a friend, or maybe with our divine partner. Or maybe money coming in enables us to be able to date, or to feel more comfortable even considering dating. Maybe we've been worried about being broke, like I started out talking about in the beginning. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging, like maybe start your own business with a friend or something, and perhaps a new area of study. Court cards often represent actual people. So the person, this may be representing your energy, the person helping to facilitate this money coming into you may be an earth sign, or, you know, something like that. Crowning, the Nine of Fire. I said that this was what the moon, the Aries full moon was going to be all about. It's all about the Nine of Fire and the Seven of Earth and the Eight of Earth. So seeds well planted, and then reaping what we've sown if we, you know, persevere and keep pushing. Push past like the conflict. Don't let anybody take us down, get us down, none of that. Wow. Okay, so at the root, at our foundation of the two, it's the Queen of Water, who is tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. So I said wow because it's crossing the two of fire. So it's, again, as it relates to romance, these divine unions being elevated. That could be the raise or promotion from the boss that comes with the Judgment card or the renewal card. Again, reunions, getting back together, or where we were already together, just finding things easier to navigate, you know, just improvements to our relationship. Every day, better versions of ourselves and better versions of the couple. It's also crossing death. And the Queen of Water of the court cards tends to like primarily represent the sign of Scorpio. So this is probably very much about Jupiter and Scorpio. And for some, this, of course, you know, it has to do with an actual person that is a Scorpio in your life who is going to be, you know, significantly impactful this week. Maybe that's with whom you enter some sort of partnership, romantic or otherwise. At the heart of the matter, the Two of Air. Well, we got to decide first. What are we doing? What are we doing? Are we entering a partnership? Can you let go of this other thing you're holding on to? Maybe it's just conflict, feelings of conflict, worry, insecurity, right? Can you let go of that in order to move toward partnership and allow, you know, the love and the strength of the relationship to be elevated? That can be what the decision is. If you keep pushing, persevere, you absolutely can. You can have all of this to a fire. I love the energy of death. I love being reborn. I love the Queen of Water and how, you know, we continue to rise, but in an emotional sense and often a romantic sense, we're being elevated, ascended. I love that. And I love the Knight of Fire. I love the Knight of Fire when it's a real person. And I'm biased because I am a Leo rising, but, you know, I love the Knight of Fire. All of this is good, except for this is a person who could be inconsiderate, who could be like unimpressed. What's the word I'm trying to think? Like arrogant, obnoxious is what I'm getting from this. And this can be a person that is conflicted or, of course, has a conflict with somebody else. Now, what I'm going to do is to try to get some more clarity with my new card. So it's more tarot cards. We'll do it this way this week. And I'm beginning with that Seven of Autumn or Seven of Earth, about which I said this week was going to be with the energy of the moon. And it's cow. This is the Animal Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. They were just shipped to me this week. I probably purchased them like 9 months ago and they were on pre-order. Cow, the planning, resources, and efforts you've invested in your dream will reap great rewards. In the meantime, have patience and meditate on your first steps. This could be representing Taurus too. It's a cow, not a bull, but that just jumped out. This can be specifically about, you know, a Taurus. So maybe that's who the Page of Earth is in your life this week. They're a Taurus. And opening to the Queen of Autumn. Thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious is the Queen of Autumn. Belgian hair. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. So basically detach from drama, be compassionate, which is what the Queen of Earth, or Autumn in this case, is known for. Queen of Autumn, a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or somebody taking on those traits. Seven of Autumn back. And open to the Ten of Spring. Saint Bernard dog. You're working far too hard, and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and enjoy life. So like put your wands down, put your burdens down, your conflict down, detach from drama. Seven of Autumn. And opening to Balance which does balance is temperance in the traditional tarot, and temperance also represents the sign of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. So this week's general spread seems to very much be about, again, Jupiter in Scorpio. By merging various points of view, by merging. By merging various points. I don't need glasses, so I don't know what's happening right now because I just went to the eye doctor and I had 20/20 vision. I went to the dentist. I have no cavities. I'm so excited. At my age, she said, you're going to have your teeth for a long, long time. By merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. So that sounds like working out something in partnership, or maybe working out where we're in disagreement or, unsure. We need to determine an outcome, like what we're going to do, make a decision. That sounds like where this comes in. And also in renewal and judgment and whether or not we're going to continue to move on. Seven of Autumn. And it's the Two of Winter. See, this is why I wanted to use these to see if we got any duplicate cards. Two of Air, basically. Dachshund Dog. Procrastination and worry. Worrying about what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. So in the case of the masculine, he could be conflicted about what someone will think about the divine union, for example, or a business partnership or friendship, what he's concerned with his image rather than what's in his heart. Worrying about what other people think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. And this came through so strong in the moon reading, this kind of message of the masculine doing like what he wanted for him for change. So not really surprised to see this and actually happy to see it. Opposite the Seven of Autumn, looks like he would be deciding to go ahead and collect on what he's put effort into and protect what he's built, which is, the union. The co-creation of the relationship. Two of Winter. I'm going to cut. And I've come to the Nine of Winter. Sea Lion. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. They put the of at the end. I had to move it because that's improper grammar. It was bothering me in my head. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. You can't end a sentence with a preposition. I'm sorry. The overall energy is the Nine of Autumn. So this is like a single card. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Again, we may have pulled away on either side from some people, places, or things that no longer served us. So now we're sort of spending some time liking us, loving us, having a good time with us, being our own friend and enjoying it. Your success has brought you financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment. Some sort of opportunity that will make you very happy and be very successful. All right, here atop this Five of Fire. Is the Queen of Summer. Swan, this is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition. So we've got two Queens of Water on the table at the same time, basically. You can trust your intuition completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs. So don't like allow other people to make you conflicted about what you want to do. Follow your intuition and your heart's desires is what these two mean together. All right. Don't put others for whom you're caring above yourself this week. The top, release or death, it's the king of spring. So another king of fire, basically. Now's your moment to step up to a leadership role. I talked about being a leader in the moon reading. I knew that was coming this week. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused upon the big picture. And the big picture is, again, what you want, your heart's desires. And look at the moon here and also here. Okay, this is all about this week's moon. Masculine subconscious atop the Knight of Fire. It's the 6th of autumn. And this is probably that Virgo and Leo coming together. So any earth and fire combinations out there, this could be your week. Success. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or a scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. So this means when you receive your blessings, bless someone else, whether it's financial, material, or love. Like, show if you receive love, your union comes together, or you have some sort of contact, communication, special moment, it pleases your heart, you feel good, you want to please somebody else's heart, just show love to another person is what this means. On top, the 4 of water. Okay, so this is about wanting something more than what is, like being like materialistic and, like I was saying before, arrogant, obnoxious, and unimpressed. Ego. Boom. Siamese cat. This is the devil. You may feel that you're trapped in a situation that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth or to break free of negative thinking. So again, watch your thinking and pay attention to the blessings around you. Atop the 2 of fire, the Empress. So it's a birth of a new, beautiful, divine partnership of some sort. Again, whether it's business, friendship, romantic, a combination of those, it's the birth of something new, and abundance is going to, be born of it. It's time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. Atop the Page of Earth, okay, we had been having feelings of lack and worry and panic, and so this guides us not to do that. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career can block your progress. So we can block our blessings, right, with negative thinking. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time to start your own business or become self-employed. So while you're in this kind of funky mindset, this comes through coupled with this to assure that you are not in that low, so that you can pursue a lucrative partnership. Crowning atop the 9 of fire is that strength that you're going to need in order to keep pushing and persevere. And here's big Leo, the lion. The strength is displayed, true strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. So you have all the strength you possibly need in order to keep on pushing and make it through. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. Atop the Queen of Water at our root, it's the 4 of autumn. So this is about our foundations here at our foundation. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you're spending too much versus hoarding your wealth, or giving too much emotionally versus building walls that keep people out. Okay, there's a huge difference. And right now, again, pay attention to your intuition. That's going to help you to figure out which is which. Am I giving too much emotionally, or am I building walls and blocking my blessing, blocking my man out, blocking my woman out, whatever? Am I spending too much, or am I hoarding my wealth, which is preventing me from reaping any more? Right? Use the intuition of the Queen of Water in order to decide. Also draw on the emotion to help to navigate these emotional issues. And at the heart of the matter, atop the Two of Air, is the Prince of Winter. When the Prince of Winter or the Knight of Air or Knight of Swords comes through, it means that very quickly something's about to change. So soon enough, we'll have the answer that we need. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. So we got decision, the need to make a decision on top of the need to make a decision. It's like spirit knocking us over the head or what here? So for those of you to whom this applies this week, you find yourself with a decision at the heart of your matter for the week. Remember, you have the strength to push through anything that you need to push through, not to be obnoxious, not to be arrogant, not to be caught up in material and, you know, things of the 3D that really don't mean anything. This is what means something, like the Empress, which is more Taurus and Libra coming through, by the way. We got like this Taurus on top of Taurus. This is what's important. Two of Fire is important, right? The partnerships. This rebirth, death and rebirth, this is what matters. The Six of Autumn, the ability to both give and receive and to be blessed to be a blessing, as they say. It's a blessing to one to be able to be a blessing to someone else. Anytime I can help somebody, I am blessed. It makes me feel good, makes me feel I'm thankful. Thank you, God, for putting me in a position where I can bless someone else. That's what this is about. Being able to both to be on the giving and receiving end of that kind of love. And for the advice, I'm going to give it to the feminine from the same deck that I used for the advice in the moon reading, which is my goddess oracle. And the same way I did with that reading, that moon reading, I opened right to Isis and shuffled a couple more times and then came to Vela, which I think was the card that ultimately was the feminine's card for the week. So hopefully we'll get a different one now. But so far I got our same two cards back. So opening to Minerva and beliefs, which I think is about shedding belief systems, shape-shifting them, changing them, evolving. Vila. And letting go of fear also. Kali. Here's the fear here. Remember? The Five of Autumn. And also there's some fear attached to this. I mean, like fear and ego are hand in hand. So it's kind of like what this is about. And this is definitely, the devil definitely can be about fear. So Kali shows up to guide us to let go of that. Shape shift your way right, out of it. Vila and Durga, boundaries. Vila. Maya, illusion. This can come up with the moon. Make sure again that you pay attention to your intuition and your intellect. That will get you beyond any illusion that's clouding your vision. Shape-shifting back. Now I'll go one more. It's Bridget, an inspiration. Vila. I'm going to cut. Oh, I went right back to her. You're not going to believe this. The overall energy is Isis mothering. So she's back. That's for the feminine. And for the masculine, theirs is coming, this is funny too. Theirs is coming from my Gods and Titans oracle, beginning with Hades and death. So more of this. And opening to Ra and power. Which, you know what? That's exactly what this is. This is death, Hades and death, and Ra and power right here. Ra's a Leo. That's what these two cards demonstrate. The same thing these two do. Ra, power. And Pooch, fear. Masculine's got his own fear. That's what this is about. Remember, what are the other people going to think? What's society going to think? What are my friends going to think? What's my family going to think? If I, follow my own dreams and desires that are maybe outside of the norm. Pursuing any person, place, or thing, or combination of those, in which I'm interested, about which I'm passionate. They're not in, and they don't think it's appropriate. So what am I going to do? Well, you're going to trade your fear in for your power, or you're going to use your power to wipe away this fear. Ra is going to take this guy, Pooch, out. But we saw all this, though. Those of us who saw the love reading and again, particularly the moon reading, we saw the masculine bucking his friends, bucking his family, for the sake of what he wants for himself. And we've got like strength on strength. This lion here, the King of Spring, crossing the strength card. We've really got the Jupiter in Scorpio. We've really got the Aries moon. And we've really got Ra and Hades together. And opening to thought and wisdom. So he joins the party. The Prince of Winter, right? Thought, communication, Mercury, intellect, thought. One more. It's set. Chaos. So that's what this is. The wisdom can take this down, though. See? Oh, and I've come to Eros, love, because doesn't that conquer all? Am I right? Overall energy for the masculine is Maui and discovery rather. And this is about discovering, what he has, his power within. And, that he had it all along. This is, he gets to know himself. He discovers himself with that 9 of earth or 9 of autumn energy that came through before. And he realizes, I'm the King of Spring. I'm the Scorpion King. I'm both. I have the strength to do whatever it is I got to do. I'm the Prince of Winter. And his card is here. Okay. So I'll start with the Animal Tarot first for the masculine, the 10 of Autumn. Golden Retriever Dog. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. So counting your blessings, being appreciative, and it's a good week. Financially, we're not worried this week. It's a good time to spend time with family. If you haven't told them to go fly a kite. We're like emotionally happy this week. But I think it's in large part because the 10 of autumn, you know, obviously this is what comes after. This is the natural progression from the 9 of autumn. So this is after having spent that time by ourselves, you know, just feeling really fulfilled here. Feminine, justice. We've got it doubly, right? Because we had the Empress here, which is the planet Venus, if you ask me. So that's your justice and, you know, your Taurus and your Libra. And then here is more. Elephant. Fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. So if we're worried about what, you know, what this decision is, where it's our decision to make, we don't have to worry. Like, we're going to do the right thing. If we're worried about what the masculine's going to do, if it's in our regard, we don't have to worry. Fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. So a prince of winter maybe, or better yet, a king of winter might be who reviews this. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. From the Angel Tarot to the masculine, the 7 of fire. So this goes perfectly too. We had the 9, we had the 10, here's the 7. Defend your beliefs and decisions. Stand your ground. This is about persevering too. This is, you know, combined with this is the warrior spirit. The masculine has it this week, and then he has this. And then not only does he have this, he's also the king of spring himself. You know, so he's got this. Feminine. Awesome. This is like one of my favorite cards. And look how much Libra we have here. So this is more Libra, or at least for me. This card is Venus. And we already had the Empress. This is Venus too. So this represents Taurus and Libra. But so does this. And justice. And we got justice here. So things will go our way. And we each have this 6 of earth. The masculine has it in the form of the 6 of autumn from the other deck. Again, it's about unconditional love in all its forms. That's why it's like one of my favorite cards, because it's with strangers, it's with business associates, it's with family, it's with friends, about being able to give and receive both of those without, you know, like completely free of agenda, whether you're on the receiving end or the giving end. And, you know, from the romantic standpoint, it's like that Bryson Tiller song, Exchange. I don't know if that's the name of the song. It makes sense. It would be. But I'm not positive that's the name. I'll try to put the song, the link to the song in the video. But that give me all of you in exchange for me. And it's like, you know, completely free of, ties and strings and agenda and bullshit. It's real, pure, unadulterated, unconditional love. And we each have it here. What a freaking awesome week. You know, not as if I didn't know or we didn't know. Anybody who saw the moon reading knew that this week was going to be really awesome, and that the masculine was going to be going through this sort of these hostilities over which he was going to be triumphant. He was going to find his strength, find his power, that Ra and that Hades, and deaf to, you know, what's been in his way and what's been an obstacle and what hasn't served him, and whomever, you know, is like blocking him from his own blessings and desires and goals and wants, and trying to limit him and make him feel small, that he's not worthy of these things. And he's like, nah, fuck that. I'm the king of spring. And, you know, I'm the Scorpion king. And then, you know, I got some Prince of Winter in me too. So like, now what? Basically is what the masculine is doing this week. And I am oh so proud of him. Not to slight us though. You know, I'm happy with what we're doing too. We just got to be careful here again with this ego. From the Gods and Titans deck to the wow. Freaking wow. Do you see who it is? It's the Scorpion King himself. It's Osiris, and it's more renewal. I started out with renewal. That card that I said equals judgment from the Angel Tarot that represents Pluto and Scorpio and the Scorpion King for me. And here he is. Here he is. Here he is. So this is really saying something about what the masculine's going through this week and just how phenomenal it is, how really awesome, and about reunion. Again, so I started out talking about renewal and reunion and union in general without the and just heightening of like ascension of the relationships, even where there is no separation and there has been communication, things getting better. And then here it is. How awesome is this? Oh my God. I know a lot of people like to go straight to the love reading because that's what they're interested in, love, and they have no idea the kind of love that goes down in the generals, you know, often, very often. For the feminine, wow, look at this moon. Looks like we got the perfect card. And it's Excel, creativity. All right, so I'll read each of these from the book, beginning with the masculine. Osiris, renewal. Pay attention to your need for rejuvenation and renewal, both physically and mentally. You're invited to experience the magic of hope. Perhaps one of the most enduring gods of resurrection, Osiris, husband of Isis, is one of the key members of the Egyptian pantheon. Son of the earth, and son of the earth god, Geb, and Nut, goddess of the sky, Osiris, well, Nut is the goddess of the sky. Osiris developed into a god of death and rebirth after his own violent death. The story of Isis's love and devotion to Osiris after his brother Set killed and dismembered him is central to Egyptian myth. After Osiris's murder, Isis traveled to the earth looking for the pieces of his body. She then cast a powerful spell which brought her husband back to life long enough to conceive a son, Horus. Then Osiris retreated back into the underworld. As a deity of resurrection, Osiris gave hope to all that there was an afterlife and that death could be transcended. Osiris did not judge the dead, but was also responsible for their afterlife and reincarnation. As a result, the energy of rebirth and renewal is tied more to Osiris than to other lords of the underworld. Ancient Egyptians created complex magical processes, rituals, and rites with Osiris as the central figure to ensure a successful resurrection after death. Depiction with green skin to signify his role as the force behind germination and fertility, Osiris ruled over the flooding Nile and budding crops. You can call upon Osiris when you need to be renewed, when you're tired physically or mentally. His magical energy will nourish you. When you feel like there's no hope, particularly after trauma or a difficult relationship, his presence will soothe you. Osiris also appears when there is a beginning or transition close at hand. So I think that describes everything that we had here. If you've had a traumatic situation, you're having drama, you're having, you know, that's a 5 of fire. You're transitioning from one phase or circumstance into another, that's release. So everything that's been laid here for the masculine is for what Osiris shows up, you know, to sort of summarize. And I just got to say, that story of Osiris and Isis, that is from this book, Stacy DeMarco, Gods and Titans, God book. That's not from me. Those of you who've watched me know that I have gotten different versions of the story, or a different version of the story from King Osiris himself, and I've gone on about this kind of stuff at length. I used to do videos of just channeled messages, and so that's that. So I'm just, in the interest of full disclosure, that is not my version of the story, and I would dare say that's not the story, period. But it is what Stacy DeMarco has to say about it, and it fits nicely with our reading. Now the feminine. Creativity. I weave strings of energy into the web of creation. Where nothing was before, out of the void into the world, I spin them into existence. Out from my mind, out from my body, out from my awareness of what needs to be. Now there's something new, and all life is nourished. Doesn't that sound like the Empress? Okay, so this is going to be us this week. Giving birth to new things, new passions. Ishel, pronounced Ishel, was worshipped by the Maya of the Yucatan Peninsula in Cozumel, her sacred island. The moon / snake goddess, she helps assure fertility by holding the sacred womb jar upside down so that the waters of creation can be ever flowing. Ishel also presides over weaving, magic, health, and healing, sexuality, water, and childbirth. Again, doesn't that sound like the Empress? The dragonfly is her special animal. When she was almost killed by her grandfather for becoming the sun's lover, the dragonfly sang over her until she was well. So we have the moon and the sun coming together. That story is not unfamiliar. Meaning of the card. Ishel has woven herself into your life to tell you it's time to express your creativity. It's time to stroke the fire. Time to let your creativity energy flow. Create, be daring, but also be responsible and conscious. Whether your creations are works of art, works of the flesh, as in children, or any kind of works. Creativity nurtures. Creativity reweaves the tears of our vitality. Creativity heals. It is our birthright and our lifeblood. It makes us healthy and happy. We women have the ability to create. We give birth. So find the time to make the time. Create the time to be creative. Beat that drum. Use those paints. Make that pottery. Put on those dancing shoes. Write those novels. Explore your sexuality. Rejoice in your own creativity. Create in the way that is appropriate for you and let nothing stop you. Do you feel blocked creatively because you aren't as good as someone else? Do the kids, your partner, your family, your job keep you from being creative? Stop using your creativity to find reasons not to create. Ishel says wholeness is nurtured when you open your creativity and live it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the weekly reading. I'll be back with love if this can get any more sexy. So possible combinations for this week, of course, anything always goes, any and all zodiacs, because sometimes we just take on the attributes of, you know, some of these signs. But some of the signs we may be taking up the attributes of if we're not ourselves those signs or our mate isn't. Air signs. Here's the air and water yet again. Prince of Winter sitting here above the Queen of Water, also crossing the Queen of Water. So air and water, and also sitting next to release or death, which represents the sign of Scorpio. But that was also, I added the King of Spring to that death card. And so here come the fire signs. We could have that fire and earth, as I was saying. Fire and water. Fire and air. What else? Page of earth. Earth and air. Earth and water. Whatever you have, enjoy. I'll be back with love. Namaste, angels.